Welcome back to this episode of Inside Stories by Anu in partnership with the Chennai Angels. We are speaking to the founders of the PaperFlite team. Let's continue where we left off. 2021 has been a brilliant year for you in terms of accolades, hasn't it?
The biggest accolade comes from our customers, the recognition that it comes, right? And there's no better way for us to make a sale than from hearing from our customers. So our customers had voted us as the highest rated content experience platform. And not just in one category, this was across like 5 different categories. And unanimously across the spectrum, whether it's small and medium businesses, larger enterprises, for them to be happy about the service that we offer, to be about talking about the change that it was able to bring back in them, and to be recognized as a momentum leader was a true recognition. Yeah. And to know that this was achieved by this small a team just gives that much more happiness.
No?
In a lot of our conversations, none of our customers believe that this is the size of the team.
No, one of the comments on your website is the customer support is legendary.
And just a quick example, it's very easy for you to do this from 9 to 6 when you're in the office, right? But where it truly reflects is when our customers, like yesterday, it's Friday evening, a couple of people who are out there having a bit of a party, but there are customers who are reaching out. You will see immediately 4 or 5 people will go to their phone to say, is that person responding to the customer? Oh, I think you've got to add this message to it, make a call. You do not have to tell them that, right? Yeah. And that, I think, is just amazing how the team thinks about it.
But then not everything would have been all accolades and praise and all of that coming in this journey, right? And we all know it. So when you look back from 2016 to now, what were some of the tough moments that defined whether it's technology, whether it's finance, whether it's the customer, whatever? What defined you and your growth?
There was a time about 2 years before where we had very little money left in the bank, right? And there was one large customer that was still not sure if they were going to renew the contract or not. So we had 16 people. This was just the beginning of COVID, right? My grandmother had passed away. I was actually attending her funeral in our hometown. And that month, if the renewal were not to happen, we wouldn't be able to pay our team for that month, right? That is a very, very difficult moment. And in a lot of ways, that was something that we said that we will never ever be in this position again. So financial discipline and being profitable is absolutely important, and we turned it around in about 8 months to become a profitable venture. Sometimes people used to think that if you have to be aggressive, you've got to burn more money. And for us, we were very clear that we've got to be a profitable venture in such a way that we're not making any impulsive decisions. Either from a product perspective or hiring. We know what we have and we know how much of a runway that's going to have, that makes everybody just be at peace. In the last 2 years, there's a lot of uncertainties. I don't think we've ever been in a position we've got the entire workforce on the floor. There's always something else that will happen to someone in the family, and to be cognizant of it, respectful of it, and know that it is okay if we lose a business. It is okay if some feature does not go. What is important is that people have to be okay, and the joy when they come back to the office saying that, you know, my mom had come back from the hospital, my grandmother is now feeling okay. It's a different type of a joy. I don't think we would ever be able to, we would have appreciated it so much before. So I think that from a bonding perspective, we are much more stronger after COVID than before.
So I have Vinod on camera saying it's okay not for a feature to go.
Oh, good. That's the part that goes for a cut, Anand. Thank you, good job.
But there must be other things as well, customers, technology, which like that.
So I mean, like, yeah, there are ups and downs in technology. Like, in terms of like scalability would become a thing. Suddenly, would like onboard like 3,000 users, but again, back from our experience from the prototyping thing, we are bound for that. So it's just a matter of time. Like, if it comes within 2-3 days, we'll spin it off. During those times, we'll have the pressure, but it's never been like something that we cannot do. It's always we know that we could do it.
But the other thing is, I think from a focus standpoint, we know, like you said, we know where we are headed towards, what we want to build at an abstract level as to everything content, which means it's actually harder to say no when someone says, I'm going to pay you so much, can you just change the product to do this? So it usually comes from a larger brand, a lot of money. It's harder to say no, but I think we've held ourselves together to say what we build, what we want to build is what is our focus, and not to stray depending on what is being offered.
Yeah, because every time someone says, I want this, I want that, you keep diluting this focus and you keep going this way.
Yes.
Whereas you want to go this way, isn't it?
Yes.
I also read an interview and petrol pump story.
Absolutely. Yes.
No?
There was one thing I should blame it on the reporter, because they were really asking for a sob story.
You mean it wasn't true?
It was, except that Jaeger always felt that, and this notion that people have to glorify some of those difficulties. So you need to have, everyone needs to have a rags to riches type of a story. So Jaeger has always been very conscious to make us that, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Like people talk about successes, you don't have to glorify some of the difficulties to do that. But
it's so beautiful that you say that, because when you do that, you're somehow saying that my success, I'm not as proud of it. I want to give it a contrast of that tragedy, so that you will see the success as bigger.
Exactly.
Right?
So anytime, for example, we had a name board that we put up recently, and I was going to say that the natural thing is to go and say, oh, we started humbly with a small space, and now we have moved into a building. Jaeger was like, no, we're not doing that, because there's so much more for us to do. And we are definitely not, yes, we have come quite far, but we are definitely not going and showing some sad picture of how
the building
just
was
a small
before and how it is now.
to do that, right? That keeps us moving forward and have a confidence that, you don't have to glorify your past.
No, I love that approach, which is why I'm not going to talk about petrol pump at all, because I see how unimportant it is in the whole scheme of things.
We'll celebrate our moments, it happens, but the focus on the larger, the craving for the larger goal should not come down because you're satisfying yourself with smaller stuff. But yes, we should celebrate, but we should always look for something that's bigger.
So I always have a Jaeger check before I do anything on social media, because for us that kind of reflects where we would have wanted to, and it brings that perspective.
So what future plans for PaperFlite?
Content is the key element to connect. So the future for us really is to make PaperFlite a quintessential content product, just like how Salesforce is for a CRM, Marketo is for a marketing automation. We want PaperFlite to be that content product, where if you are a content-driven organization, you've got to have PaperFlite, and that's really the goal with which we are marching towards.
And the simplest of goals are the most challenging of.
Yes.
A maverick trio with a brilliant idea and a growth story that captured the attention of the Chennai Angels. That is what we are going to be talking in the next episode of Inside Stories by Anu in partnership with the Chennai Angels. I'll see you there.